So on this video, I'm hoping to have the rear end in. I'm really wanting to get that stabbed in. So I did skip out on a couple things. I told you guys that I'd video everything, that way you guys could see it all, everything be done. But after I started filming, taking the leaf springs out of this Dodge, I decided it was probably not worth posting because very irritable words or anything. So I just knocked it out one day after work. So I got those off. And I can show you those right over here. So there's a rear end. But now, these are the leaf springs that came out. So like I said, I'm not using the hangers or nothing like that. I can't, because the actual width of the bus frame is only like 4 1/4, like tall. So I'm not able to use those anyways, because that frame is a lot wider. After looking at those, it didn't look like they were really heavily built, but I built some and I shouldn't have any issue whatsoever. Okay, just got something out of the way. Worked out pretty nice. So posted that video, the last one, on Facebook, and I had one of my buddies I used to work with in Claremore at AXH, and he was commented, and he has an old Dodge that he was needing some body parts for, and luckily I had one sitting out here. So as far as that, the Dodge is gone. So luckily, I don't have to worry about the city coming back here and griping that I got some junk laying around. I mean, luckily that Dodge was the only junk that was sitting here. So that's gone. Ain't got to worry about it. And while he was down here, he was friendly enough to go ahead and cut those spring hangers off for me. So I got those down there. I won't be needing those whatsoever. Only thing I gotta do is I gotta knock those rivets out with a hammer. Both sides are out. Then I will get to mounting these up. So I'm hoping I might be able to meet up into a couple holes out of those rivets. Even if I hit one of them, that would be very, very nice, because that means on this side and the other side of the frame would be perfect. I wouldn't have to worry about measurements near as much. I will go ahead and measure it just to double check, but I might not show you guys that part. So like I said, I'm gonna eyeball it. If you look at this wheel well, that center bolt is pretty close to the center. It ain't gotta be perfect or nothing. So I'm going off of that center bolt over here. Well, that looks like it'll match up with that hole, because I'm wondering if that one right there won't meet this top corner bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount that up to that hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and ream that hole out, see if it'll bolt up. Stick a bolt through there, jack this side up, and see where the center line of this axle is. Something else I just realized is these plates have to bolt up flush to this frame rail, and all these springs go up. Well, the shackle goes above that, and it has to be flush too. So I have to cut all of this off down there to that main cross beam to be able to get those springs flush to where I need them, because I don't want to space them out any, just in case I run into rubbing the tires and stuff like that. I can't have that. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we'll get this spring lifted up and we'll see where we're at. So all this is taken out here. I'm going to try and get that thing up. Here we go. All right, so we've run into an issue here. This spring bracket was supposed to be for the front. And then, no. Take that back. This was supposed to be for the rear. And it was gonna sit just like that, so that shackle could sit down in there. And then the front one was actually supposed to be the other way around. It was gonna sit up here. Well, I did all this crap in my head, and thinking about it, I just put it up there and everything, and this spring itself was like right here. So that's not going to do me any good, because the rear end's going to be inside the frame. So I got two options. I can leave it that way and notch this frame, which that would then make the bus ride much, much lower. But then that also takes more steel, a little bit more cash to C-notch this frame. So instead, what I plan on doing is I turned over my brackets, and now that is, I'd say 3 to 4 inches away from that. And this is almost in line with that, so that's gonna center up pretty nicely. But now the only issue with this is this does not go down near far enough for the shackle to drop into. So that's gonna be the big issue. Don't pay attention to that. That's the other side. I ended up having to switch sides on the front brackets because they ain't gonna work. So this is my rears though, and instead of this sitting like this, what I plan on doing, that way I can still use these, is to go ahead and bolt this up here into the frame, and I'm gonna flip this shackle over here. Now I don't know if that's an okay thing to do or not, but we're just gonna do it. Okay, so I just loosened that, took the bolt out. Luckily the bolt came out and it wasn't caught on that bushing. So I went ahead and slid this in. Now, the idea on this one is once this bolt goes in, which I do have a longer bolt, this will actually go through the frame. I'll have to drill a hole for it. And that one will be through the frame, but the shackle will still have its own separate bolt. But that worked out pretty good. That should get me the height off of the ground, or off of the frame that I need. Well, the driver's side officially has suspension. So 3 hours later, okay, that is that. This side leaf springs in, solid. That side is too. So until I can get some U-bolts, which they should be same ones that were on the Dodge, I might be able to just run up to the parts store and see if I can order some. I'll get those. I weld those plates on the rear end, get that kind of lined up, and slide that under there and bolt it. And that'll be it. So anyways, appreciate you watching. Take it easy.